Chapter 10.
Feeling restless, Marcus pondered how dull this trip to Japan had been, contrary to Arrow's promises of entertainment. Their security detail remained behind in Kyoto for cleanup, but Marcus felt antsy. When he demanded they head back to Italy promptly, Arrow ensured their return with a first-class ticket, complete with an unreasonably long layover in Seattle. The three Volturi leaders found themselves gazing up at the Space Needle, unimpressed by its supposed magnificence. Caius grumbled about the expense, although Arrow had footed the bill. The reason they'd left the airport became apparent when a member of the Denali clan approached them in a Seattle Center parking lot. It was a female, not Eleazar, much to Marcus's relief, as he never favored Eleazar. Irina Denali delivered the news that the Cullens were mingling with humans. Marcus had expected this, given Carlyle's history of flirting with exposure. Caius thirsted for a violent resolution, while Arrow's curiosity was piqued by the new addition to the Cullen family. Marcus, however, just wanted to return home. They took a vote, deciding to extend an invitation to Edward Cullen, the fresh-faced Harry, and their associated humans to visit Volterra. Then, at the airport, an overpowering stench, akin to a wet dog, assaulted their senses. Caius called for blood. Arrow wanted to meet the source of the smell, and Marcus sighed, longing for home. They traced the pungent humans to their boarding gate, securing seats on the same flight to Port Angeles. Arrow habitually succeeded in getting his way. Ella felt her legs trembling upon disembarking the flight. Relief washed over her as the economy class was the last to leave the plane. A text from Charlie advised her to forsake their luggage, prompting her and Jacob to make a beeline for the exit. To her surprise, the entire Cullen and Swan families were waiting. She sprinted into her father's arms, comforted by the familiar scent of fabric softener. Her embrace extended to Harry and then Edward, where they shared a gentle kiss. "There are others on the plane," Edward whispered close to her. "We thought a proper greeting would be most fitting." The commanding call of a foreign accent resonated through the crowd. "Carlyle." Turning, Bella observed a man whose skin appeared almost delicate, yet his dark crimson eyes suggested otherwise. Beside her, Jacob's tremors returned. With warmth, Carlyle greeted, "Arrow, we'd be honored to accompany you to Forks. Should that appeal to you?" "Naturally, my dear friend," Arrow's grin revealed razor-like teeth. "But we must start with pleasantries. Who might these charming individuals be?" His words spilled out in rapid succession, his hand extending towards Bella. "Ladies first." Reluctantly, Bella offered her hand, anxious about whether his touch would leave dust in its wake or crush her with unyielding strength. With Edward's encouragement, she let Arrow's cold grip envelop hers. His expression remained unchanged, though his grip firmed. "Intriguing," he proclaimed. Directing a smile past her, he quipped, "A fascinating choice, Edward." Confusion clouded Bella's mind, but Charlie's supportive arm around her brought comfort. Across from her, Harry stood tall, facing Arrow directly. "It's a privilege to meet you, Arrow Volturi. I'm Harry Swan, with my partner Charlie, and our daughter, Bella." Jacob had to step outside with Esme. Bella felt herself bristle at the word partner. Her father belonged to no one, nor did she. Charlie's reassuring squeeze promised further discussion later. Releasing her, Arrow turned his attention away. Bella shoved her hands deep into her pockets while Arrow briefly shook Harry's hand, grimacing, and quickly touched Charlie's. "It's not uncommon for talents to run through genetic lines," Arrow commented. Gesturing to his brothers, he introduced, "Meet my brothers Caius and Marcus." Caius, whose look was as fierce as an avenging angel's, glared with disdain. Marcus, seeming detached, gazed beyond the group as though lost in another world. Carlyle, with an authoritative presence, began guiding Arrow and Caius. "We've brought 3 vehicles. One can accommodate up to 7. This reassurance allowed Bella to let go of some tension, even though the mystery surrounding her persisted. Hello, Bella Swan. Startled by Marcus Volturi, she mirrored his greeting awkwardly. Hello. The vampire's demeanor suggested he had been devoid of emotion for ages. Clasping onto Edward's reassuring presence, Bella joined those assigned to Alice's BMW, with Marcus quietly occupying the front seat, casting a silence over any chatter. Struggling with frustration at her lack of insight, Bella watched Charlie and Harry remain peacefully connected in the back seat. "We'll fix you up a meal," Alice announced enthusiastically, just as Bella's stomach audibly anticipated food. "Oh, Bella, we're having a sleepover again." Despite the early evening, Bella felt fatigue creeping in. "Sure," she replied softly, leaning against Harry. "That would be lovely." "Does your dietary choice make you sleepy?" Marcus inquired, his monotone voice imposing the semblance of a question. "It's just a figure of speech," responded Harry. His assurance made Bella smile gently into his sleeve, finding comfort in Harry's unchanged nature even after the transformation. "I understand," Marcus acknowledged, turning his focus back to the woods outside. Dozing slightly during the ride, she awoke as they approached the Cullen driveway. Stretching within her confines, Harry shifted slightly to grant her space, still unrestrained by a seatbelt. "I didn't anticipate sleeping through the ride," Alice chuckled. Relieved to breathe the familiar dampness of Forks, Bella embraced the familiarity of her surroundings. She followed Harry inside, his simple assurance resonating with her as she brushed her fingers against a towering pine. Was this what Harry meant with his frequent talk of magic? "The enchantment calls to you," Harry assured her, guiding her forward. "Soon, you'll be conversing with the trees themselves." A quiet smile dawned on Bella's face. It hadn't been that long since she would be the one calling Harry in for dinner. Shortly after, Carlisle arrived, Esme's been signaling a delay caused by Arrow and Caius's activities. Bella tried not to dwell on those who wouldn't make it to their destinations. "Esme has taken Jacob directly to the line," Carlisle announced as he disembarked. "She'll return shortly with the others." Once inside, Harry set about making pancakes. Bella was struck by the realization that it was still Sunday, even though her trip to Arizona felt like a lifetime ago. As everyone retreated to discuss in the next room, she perched herself at the kitchen counter. "Carlisle clarified to me about the Valuri's role," Harry began, setting a heart-shaped pancake, still imperfect like his firsts, onto her plate. "Apologies for earlier. It's apparently a vampire norm, this business about mates and offspring. To me, you're family." Bella prodded her pancake, but couldn't resist offering a small smile when she met his weary red eyes. "So, kings. They judge, deliver verdicts, and execute," Harry grumbled, settling across from her with a sigh. "Arrow's talent lets him access memories through touch, and it seems people rely on him to determine innocence. It's flawed, especially with minds like ours that can be obscured or shielded. Jasper mentioned Arrow wouldn't be fond of that." Recasting the airport scene in her mind, Bella mused that unfond was an understatement. Harry's touch on her hand drew her back. "Caius isn't gifted beyond strategy, though how dependable that makes him, I'm unsure." "And Marcus?"
Bella inquired.
"He senses connections between people," Harry divulged. "Edward spoke of it as a network of ties that creates our relationships," mentioned Harry. "To be fair," he added with a grin, "Marcus observes things unseen, yet that doesn't negate their existence. In this light, he's as rational as I am." Charlie had been a lawman for what felt like an eternity. Even in school, he'd find himself intervening in skirmishes or reporting mischief-makers who defiled their desks with gum. When Renee provided her full name and contact for a ticket, her carefree laugh echoed, making him reconsider. Rather than impose a set of rules upon her, he opted to ask her out. Renee was stunning, untamable, wild. She awakened him. The police force was a noble choice, a stable career accessible right after high school, and Charlie never felt a pang of regret. Being a policeman often meant bouts of endless waiting, whether in his car, a courtroom, or an interrogation room. Charlie had become adept at the art of patience. Or so he thought, until a fruitless verbose discussion left him more restless than jury duty. Clearing his throat, Charlie addressed the curious eyes of red and gold before him. To sum up, he stated, Caius Volturi, your grievance is that Dr. Cullen withheld information about the wolves. Carlyle, out of fear of precipitate action, refrained from disclosing. Caius, even now, you wish to rush into action without inquiry. Both nodded at his summary. All right, let's set that aside for now. Ero Volturi, you've raised concerns about my daughter and I, as humans. If needed, we'll undergo the change, Charlie voiced, striving to hide his discomfort. Esme's reaction indicated he failed. Collecting himself, he persisted. I'm asking for a grace period until Bella graduates to avoid suspicion from our abrupt departure. All eyes followed as Caius linked hands with Ero, projecting his notions, then Ero reached out to Marcus. We recognize the wisdom in your request, came Ero's verdict. Charlie struggled to steady his heartbeat, knowing it resounded to their ears. We've resolved that your transformation must occur within a year, and your daughter's upon her schooling completion. As for the wolves, a decision will be reached tomorrow. Charlie exhaled fully, the words forming more easily now. Thank you. Your partner, Marcus Volturi addressed, breaking his silence. Bring him to me. Finding Harry in the kitchen with Bella, both observing enchanted crockery, Charlie stepped in as Edward and Alice escorted Bella away for rest. He took Harry's hand, guiding him back to the council room where Marcus awaited. Carlyle mentioned you hail from another realm, where numerous individuals morph into creatures while retaining their faculties, Marcus probed with intrigue lighting his eyes. Not only the men, Harry corrected, seating Charlie and himself. Once, Caius encountered such a man, a hound, Marcus recounted. Harry's interest piqued. A large black dog? Marcus lifted a shoulder. Yes, although Caius lost him before transformation was possible. It happened some time ago. Deflated, Harry whispered. You're certain? Charlie remained silent, unable to believe vampires could fabricate this tale. I sought your insight on magic, Marcus continued. Edward spoke of trees. It's pervasive here in Forks, yet it intensifies amidst the forest, Harry murmured, evidently drained. Let me show you. Tomorrow. As rain drummed upon the roof, Charlie cradled Harry that night. Sleepless, he searched for reassurance to give. The moon shines down on your friend now, he offered, wishing he could guarantee comfort. Cautious, Marcus laid a hand on the oak. The rain-moistened bark felt vibrant. I sense no magic, he announced after a pause. Patience, suggested Harry Swan. She needs to know you first. The absence of birds made the human heartbeats conspicuous. Over the crunch of leaves, the steady rhythm of Charlie Swan testified to the solace he found in the vampire's presence. Thirst was tedious compared to the allure of magic, the first stimulant since Didyme had vanished. Marcus, palm against the tree, waited. As shadows swirled with the sun, the humans sunk into the earth. Harry Swan remained serene, eyes sealed. Oh. Marcus nearly chuckled. A soft prickling, as if gentle fingers danced upon him, ensued. Oh, repeated Marcus, a smile playing on his lips. She's magnificent, isn't she? The sensation was astounding, a peculiar familiarity tinged it. Speak of your origins, Harry Swan. My world had its flaws and its splendors, Harry admitted, emotionlessly detached. The bindings of his former life were severed. Magic was vibrant, alive almost, tangible. Conversely, voids bore a vacancy. At a songbird's pause, he whispered, I crossed the veil of death. Marcus caressed a verdant leaf. The veil of death, he mused, a long-buried memory stirring. Murmureshtata Zavisa, as the Romanians called it, the whispering curtain. Aged though Marcus was, Older vampires told of the mythical, a vampire birthed through veil and mist. Does this veil open both ways? Harry Swan pondered, his voice carrying a yearning Marcus failed to comprehend fully. No parallel exists here, to my knowledge. Arrow and Caius dismissed it as folklore, yet Marcus clung to the peculiar truth. The veil of death. Tell me, Harry, does magic awaken the dead? It's yours as well if you claim it, Harry Swan replied, back against the ancient oak, eyes remaining closed. Marcus, crushed by the weight of yearning, sensed rekindled hope as the branch cracked beneath his grip. Can our magic reclaim the lost? Didyme. Harry Swan's eyes flashed an earnest, vivid green. Best not to dwell on dreams at the cost of living, he advised. Marcus folded himself to the ground. Turning a fallen leaf, he watched a centipede scuttle, then crushed it with deliberation. Sage advice for mortals, he acknowledged. Human lives, brief as tides, change continually. A contemplative hum came from Harry Swan as sunbeams danced across his features, casting a radiant glow. Even if it can't return her, Harry mused, perhaps magic could restore your zest for life. Marcus contemplated him. In Charlie Swan's warm brown gaze, devoid of fear, an understanding spark ignited, connecting them. Once transformed, you'll join us in Volterra. Marcus anticipated Arrow's satisfaction with 2 shields and anticipated lively companionship. Stirred, Harry Swan proposed, you'll aid us in safeguarding the wolves. Magic grants them a rightful existence. They pose no danger to the Volturi or us. Marcus couldn't recall his last negotiation. Tingling energies coursed him like a cauldron of fire. Unexpected laughter escaped him, thriving in its resonance. Our agreement stands, he declared, breaking into laughter once more.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this chapter, please hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated with more audiobooks. Happy listening!